Holy crap. That's one of the coldest plunges I've ever been in, which is where the magic happens. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go in the Morozko Forge new icebreaker cold plunge. What I love about this is one of the only cold plunges that gets down to around 32, 35 degrees. So you're really doing a cold water swim. What's unique about this model is it fits 2 people in here. We often do thermal parties here at my house. We have the sauna just behind you. So I'm gonna test this out for the first time. This model is beautiful. It has a nice stainless steel tank, ozonated filtration, but also the water's grounded. So it's like, you know, touching the earth with your feet. So we're gonna go in, give this one a try. I'm actually nervous, but also excited. Okay, all right, so here we go. We're gonna test it out. It's definitely quite chilly. All right. Ooh. It's actually quite comfortable. And again, the trick here, my friends, is I do this pretty much every day. I mean, there's a few days I took off last week because of travel, but you get acclimated to this quite quickly. So that initial shock, it goes away. You know, when you first do this, exercise caution. You know, if you have heart issues, arrhythmia, if you're on a beta blocker, have high blood pressure, you might want to ease into it and maybe not go in at 35 degrees or 32 degrees, whatever this is. But man, this feels really good. I've had a low back issue. Some sciatica is kind of creeping up because of an old college injury. And so going in the cold plunge first thing in the morning has been amazing for my low back and some of this nerve issue that I have going on that I think is pretty temporary. But this feels really comfortable. I think 2 people might be a stretch, to be honest. But I really like how cold this gets. I mean, this is pretty impressive. My skin is already numb. So usually when I do this, people ask, like, how long do you want to stay in the cold plunge? You know, it's kind of like, well, how long do you go to the gym? You know, some days you do 90 minutes because you feel great. Other days you might just do 20 minutes in the gym. So when it comes to the cold plunge, first thing in the morning, I do about a minute. I know that might seem on the short side, but again, this is as much of a mental exercise as it is a physiologic exercise to help to stimulate that brown adipose tissue, to help beige my white adipocytes and make them behave more like brown fat cells and increase the mitochondrial concentration in the fat tissue. But also I just do this because it's good for your circadian clock system. And I found that it helps with my libido and testosterone levels. I just turned 42. I haven't tested my testosterone, but I feel like energetically, from a libido, from just a vigor, vital standpoint, my testosterone is higher now than it is when I was in my 20s. And I strongly believe that's due to consistent, regular cold immersions. I know we don't have really good long-term human clinical studies on this, but there is enough people on the internet talking about how cold immersions have increased their testosterone. And with all the endocrine disrupting chemicals, the plastics, and all these things in the environment, I think this is a really a good practice for most men, either if they're of reproductive age or a little bit older. So I like to move around in here a little bit and kind of break that thermal layer on the skin, and it makes it a little bit tougher, but it mimics what you normally do. I was just in Europe, actually, in Denmark and Iceland, and people do cold swimming all year round. There was cold pools and all sorts of swimming holes all over Copenhagen and Denmark. It's just amazing. Women, children, elderly people, young people. It's quite impressive. So I think I've been in here for about a minute, probably closer to 2. That feels amazing. All right, so just unpacking the first test drive in the new Morozko Forge icebreaker tank. It's super cold, the water's grounded, and it's filtered with an ozonator. Man, I'm starting to feel the chill here, the cold. That's one of the coldest plunges I've ever been in, which is where the magic happens. As we talked about the benefits for recovery, we talked about testosterone improvements, activating brown adipose tissue. This plunge is really easy to get into and out of, and I'm surprised at how cold the water is, which again is where all the magic happens. So as you can see, my skin is still looks a little pink. I'm comfortable though. One of the things that I've changed actually since connecting with Dr. Tom Seeger is doing cold plunges before I go to the gym and increasing my basal body temperature by way of exercise. And I think that's where the magic comes in when it comes to improving testosterone. A lot of people are talking about this now. I've experienced the benefits, as have many others. So I'm impressed. Morozko Forge, you built an awesome product. So friends, if you want to check out one of the best cold plungers on the market, you can also trial this by going to morozkoforge.com and seeing where other clinics and wellness centers and spas and so forth actually have a Morozko Forge that you can use. It's one of the best ones out there. So Appreciate you all tuning in. Thanks for that, hitting that like button, and let me know if you have any questions about cold plunges, and we'll address them in the comment section. Catch you on the next one.